So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you are all doing
وعليكم
well.
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد
Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا إنك سميع مجيب الدعاء. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع وقلب لا يخشع ونفس لا تشبع ودعاء لا يسمع. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Today, inshallah, we are going to continue the story of Musa and Al-Khidr alayhi salam. But before continuing, I just want you to remind you of the outline of this surah. We said that Surah Al-Kahf is talking or addressing four main fitnas. The first fitna related to the people of the story of the people of the cave is addressing which kind of fitna?
Iman,
Can anyone
fitna
remember?
of Iman and faith
Iman
or faith.
or religion. Great, mashallah. Okay, and we moved then to uh, the story of the man with two gardens, right? And which fitna is this?
Fitna
Related
of
to what?
wealth,
Of wealth? Yeah,
golden,
wealth or money.
yeah,
Okay,
or
so this is the second fitna addressed in Surah Al-Kahf. The third fitna, which represented by the story of Musa alayhi salam and Al-Khidr, this fitna is related to what?
knowledge,
Knowledge. Great, mashallah, al-ilm. And next class, inshallah, we are gonna addressing the fourth fitna in Surah Al-Kahf, which is which is represented by the story of Dhul Qarnayn, and this is related to the fitna of power, power. Okay, so next time, inshallah, we will move to the story of Dhul Qarnayn to address the last fitna mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf. So today, inshallah, we are gonna continue the story of Musa and Al-Khidr, and um, we stopped last time um on uh, on verses in which Musa and Al-Khidr agreed that they should be separated and they should not be in companion of each other because Musa can't bear what he was saying. Okay, it was beyond the scope of his knowledge. So they agreed that هذا فراق بيني وبينك. Okay. Uh, so we stopped in this case. Can you remind me of the three things that Musa cannot keep silent when saying them? What were the three situations? Can anyone remember? The
uh,
first
fir-
one,
first when a child was a young child was killed.
the first one related to the shab and the owners of uh, the shab which made defective by
Oh yes,
by
both,
Al-Khadr.
yes, right. Right. First, that the one when Musa alayhis salam he defective like he defected the boat yes.
Uh-huh. Actually, not Musa alayhi salam. He see the Khadr made it defective. He see the Khadr, but he can't keep silence. He just told them, "Do you have made something so strange. Those people who offered free boarding for us, and they didn't take from us any fees for transportation on the board of this ship, and you made their ship defective. Is this the reward?" Okay, so he cannot imagine that he can do something like that. He was wondering, why did you do that? Okay. So we will know the the purpose behind that, just to know that not everything that appears bad is really bad. Okay, so what is the second situation? What did Al-Khidr made strange? Hmm, can
He
anyone
killed an
remember?
They
he killed an innocent boy.
Yeah, when he killed a young boy, and this young boy would just uh playing with his um with other boys, and this boy was welcomed by his parents when they gave him birth. So it was so strange to find him killing this boy specifically. He did this boy. This is a young boy. He didn't kill anyone in return. So this was so strange for Musa alayhi salam too. So what is the third situation? Hmm. أما الجدار فكان, what he did for the wall. Can you remember the villagers who didn't welcome them and
yes.
didn't offer any kind of hospitality? However, what did
How,
Al-Khidr make?
however, they built a like wall for orphan
Mm-hmm.
like boys,
Orphans?
orphan
Yeah,
boys. Yes,
for two.
for them they
Yeah,
built
and they
their
didn't,
house.
did they take any money in return?
No, no, they didn't take any
No,
money or
No,
any reward.
no, they didn't. And even Musa alayhi salam told him, they didn't offer for us any kind of hospitality. Why didn't you take some money to just for us to buy food? Okay, so this was the end of the story of Musa alayhi salam for their companion, and Al-Khidr told him, I will clarify everything for you. I will uh, tell you about the wisdom behind each situation. Okay, so let's read together um, verses of today to know why Al-Khidr acted like that. Of course, he was inspired by Allah, but this was this was also a lesson for us to know that Allah made everything for a purpose. Okay, and what you see bad is not necessarily bad. Allah um a, is so merciful, okay, and He has a wisdom behind each action. Um, okay, so I just want a sister to read. Um, I just want a sister to read. So, Sister Safina, would you please read the Arabic text?
نعم أستاذة. Which verse أستاذة؟
Yeah, starting from this one, and I will move forward to keep you reciting the part of the day, inshallah.
نعم أستاذة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أما السفينة فكانت لمساكين يعملون
فأردت, I see like the voice is cracking. Do I am the one who has this knowledge, or do you also find this? Ram, what do you find? Are you away? Okay, so Sister Munaza, do you see the same problem?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Yeah, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
كيف حالك
I
أستاذة؟
I am good, alhamdulillah. So would you please start reciting it because
Okay,
I think
Ustaza, I'm
yeah.
sorry, I'm joining from mobile. Let me zoom and then I will zoom.
Okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أما السفينة فكانت لمساكين يعملون في البحر فأردت أن أعيبها وكان وراءهم ملك يأخذ كل سفينة
Just to make sure you are muted, Sister Safina.
وكان وراءهم ملك يأخذ كل سفينة غصبا.
Mm-hmm.
As for the ship which you criticized me for breaking.
Okay, let's read the Arabic text only.
As for the
Okay.
what
The
should I do,
Arabic
Sada?
text only.
وأما الغلام فكان
The
أبواه
Arabic text only.
أوكي أستاذة. وأما الغلام فكان أبواه مؤمنين فخشينا أن يرهقهما طغيانا وكفرا. وأردنا أن يبدلهما ربهما
فأرادنا not
أستغفر
وأرادنا.
الله. يس أستاذة. فأردنا أن يبدلهما ربهما خيرا منه زكاة وأقرب رحمة. وأقرب رحمة.
Mm-hmm.
وأما
I'm sorry.
الجدار فكان لغلام
Mm-hmm.
وأما الجدار فكان لغلامين يتيمين في المدينة وكان تحته كنز لهما وكان أبوهما صالحا فأراد ربك أن يبلغا أشدهما ويستخرجا
يبلغا
استغفر الله يا
أشدهما.
أستاذة. فأراد ربك أن يبلغا أشدهما ويستخرج
يبلغا
sorry أستاذة. فأراد ربك أن يبلغا أشدهما ويستخرجا كنزهما رحمة من ربك وما فعلته عن أمري ذلك تأويل ما لم تستطع عليه صبرا.
يا أحسنتي ما شاء الله. تستطيع. Okay, the ta.
تستطيع عليه صبرا.
Great, ما شاء الله. Well done. So let's come back to the English version. Would you please continue the English version of
As,
the verses you recited today? Okay. As for
as for the ship which you criticized me for breaking, it belonged to some weak people who worked on the sea and who were unable to protect it. So I wanted to make it defective by what I did to it, so that it would not be taken by a king who was ahead of them and who would forcefully take possession of every good ship from its owner, but leave every defective ship.
mm-hmm.
As for the boy you criticized me for killing, his parents were believers, but he was an unbeliever according to Allah's knowledge. So I feared that if he grew up, he would cause them to disbelieve in Allah out of their intense love for him or their intense need towards him. Ustaza, him is used for Allah and it's with, should be with capital letter. Both him.
Yeah, love for him. Yeah, should be
Yeah.
capital letter. Yeah, this is a mistake. Yeah, but this is Tafseer Al-Mukhtasar. So sister,
Okay.
just copied it. Yeah, but you're right, of course. Mm-hmm.
So I wanted Allah to
No,
replace
sorry.
them.
because of their intense love for him. Here refer to the boy.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Astaghfirullah. So I wanted
Okay.
Allah to replace them with a child better than him in religion, piety, and purity from sins, and more merciful to his parents.
Mm-hmm.
As for the wall, which I fixed, but you criticized me for fixing, it belonged to two young boys in the town we went to and whose father has passed away. Beneath the wall, some wealth of theirs was buried, and the father of these two boys was wise. So your Lord intended, O Moses, that they reach the age of discerning
Discerning.
discerning and grow up and take out their wealth, which was buried underneath it. Because if the wall were to fall now, their wealth would become exposed and go to waste. And this plan was your Lord's mercy on them. And I did not do this of my own judgment. This is the explanation of what you were unable to bear.
Yeah, أحسنتي ما شاء الله. So let's come back commenting on these incidents. We said before that Musa عليه السلام, جزاك الله خيرا Sister
Right,
Munaza
thank you,
for
Sister.
wonderful recitation. So we said that last time there were three incidents uh, for which Musa عليه السلام didn't manage to keep silence when he saw them. The first one is for the ship that Al-Khidr made it defective. So here is the elaboration why Al-Khidr made it defective. There were this ship was owned by a group of فكانت لمساكين, so poor people or weak people. Okay, they worked on the sea and they owned their ship. Okay, and those weak people were not able to protect this ship, which would be taken by a king who was unjust, and he take any perfect ship. When he find any great ship, he take it forcibly. Okay, so he did this with every good ship. He take it forcibly from its owners. So that is why Allah inspired the Khidr to make it defective in order to be left by the king and to protect their ship, okay, from taking by this unjust king. Do you got the point? So subhanallah, we were crying for those owners of the ship and say why did Al-Qadr made it defective? They just offered for him a free transportation. Do they deserve to be um to have their ship defective and so on? So we learn from this story that وَعَسَى أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. Think about the feeling of the those poor people or those weak people who were the owner of this ship. Um, of course, they feel depressed by having their ship defective, but if they know what would be the future of this ship, and they would lose it uh would lose it forever, of course they will thank Allah for having it defective, right? So this is a lesson for us. Not everything that looks bad is necessarily bad. Maybe there is a wisdom behind it. May Allah save it from what is worse. Okay, some people they feel depressed when they made an accident or something like that. Although they, Alhamdulillah, Allah is still alive. Some people are not alive when after making an accident or something like this. So just to think that Allah save you from what is worse. Okay? Like Allah saved those owners of ship from what is worse, which is losing the ship forever. So let's move to the second incident, which is related to the boy who was killed. And think about the feeling of those parents who were crying for losing their child. Um, but if they know the future that Allah saved their religion, think about the religion. The most important thing for any human being is their religion. Okay, so Allah saved their religion because they were about to be disbelievers. Allah's after for their love for this young boy who would be a disbeliever. Okay, so Allah saved their religion and replaced them with another jariyah, with another female, who would be a joy or the apple of their eye. Okay. Um, so uh, the situation here is harder, which is killing, not just making something defective, because this is related to religion. So when it's something threatening your religion, it needs to be killed. Okay, not just that make it harm or anything like this. No, Allah used the option of killing because this is related to religion, which is threatening their afterlife. Okay. Um, and they were believers, so Allah is protecting their religion. Okay. فكان أبواه مؤمنين. They were believers, so Allah is protecting their religion from being corrupted by this boy when he become an adult. فأرادنا أن يبدلهما ربهما, so Allah wanted to replace them with a child better than him in religion. Okay, أقرب منه زكاة وأقرب رحمة, and more merciful to his parents. And Allah replaced them with Jariyah, with the female. Uh, the second situation is related to the wall that was about to fall, and um, Al-Khidr fixed it with no return. And when Musa alayhi salam objected to that because they didn't offer any kind of hospitality and he just wanted him to take some money to buy some food. So no, what's wrong with this? So Al-Khidr just clarified for him that why he did this favor to those villagers. Actually, he wasn't to do this because of those villagers or to do favors to those villagers, but he did so to do favor to those two young boys because of what? وكان فكان لغلامين يتيمين. Okay, يتيمين, so they were orphans. وكان أبوهما صالحا, so the righteousness of their parents bring benefit to them after years. So this is a lesson for you. If you are complaining about your young boys, just work on yourself, okay? Because the righteousness of parents are reflected in their offspring. Okay, so don't worry about your children. Just work on yourself, and Allah will protect you in your children. Okay. So Allah made Al-Khidr and Musa alayhi salam after years bringing or fixing this wall just to make those young people, sorry, those young boys benefit from the treasure beneath this wall. Because if the wall fell and the villagers found out this treasure, they will took it away and the young boys will not benefit from this treasure. Okay, so Allah made Musa and Al-Khidr fix this wall for the benefit of those two young boys who were the children of righteous parents. So this is a key word here. وكان أبوهما صالحا فأراد ربك أن يبلغا أشدهما ويستخرجا كنزهما رحمة من ربك. So all what Musa al-Khidr is just a mercy of Allah. Allah didn't make anything haphazardly. Okay, everything is out of His rahmah, of His mercy. Okay, and I didn't do this of my own judgments. So Al-Khidr didn't do anything by his own judgment, but by inspiration of Allah, and Allah's action is always based on His mercy, on His mercy. Okay, so we just need to adopt these glasses of Surah Al-Kahf. Look at every situation in your life as as Allah's mercy. Okay, maybe we don't know what is behind the scenes. Okay, like Musa alayhi salam, who didn't know the background of each situation, but we should, as Muslims, believe in Allah's mercy and Allah's wisdom. Okay, so this is the situation. This is the explanation of what you were unable to bear. Okay, so I just want another sister to read Tafseer Al-Sa'di. Sister Lawal, would you please recite this tafsir?
نعم. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. As for the boat that I scuttled, it belonged to some poor people who made their living on the sea, which would prompt one to show kindness and compassion towards them. I wanted to damage it because I knew that there was a king ahead of them who was seizing every sound, both by force, that is, their route would take them past the unjust king, and he would seize unlawfully any sound both free of defects that passed by him. So I wanted to scuttle it in order to make it defective, so that they would be safe from that wrongdoer. As for the boy whom I killed, his parents were believers, and we feared that he would grieve them with his rebellion and ingratitude. It had been decreed that if that boy had grown up, he would have grieved his parents with his rebellion and ingratitude. That is, he would have put pressure on them, which could have led them to transgress and disbelieve, either because of their love for him or of their need for him, or because he would force them to do that.
Yeah, Jazakallah
Yeah,
khairan.
Jazakallahu khairan. وإياكم.
So here, it's the explanation of why Al-Qadr made it defective. Because as we said, there was unjust king who would seize unlawfully, who took away unlawfully any sound boot, any boot that is free of defect. This, yeah, unjust king took it away. Okay, so so Al-Khidr alayhi salam, Al-Khidr would take it, made it defective just to save this ship. Okay, so and Allah mentioned أما السفينة فكانت لمساكين, so it was owned by poor people, which prompt one to show kindness and compassion. When you find poor people, what should you show? Kindness and compassion. But what happened is the opposite. Okay, so let's continue. As for the second situation in which he showed rebellion, the boy who was killed by Al-Khidr, as we see that this boy would show rebellion and ingratitude to his parents when he would become adult. This is of course, in Allah's knowledge. So that is why Allah inspired Al-Khidr to kill it just to save the religion of this of his parents, and just to replace these righteous parents with what is better. Okay. Of course, if they don't know this, they would have grieved for losing their child, but Allah made what is the best for them. Okay. Um, so what could happen if Al-Qadr didn't kill this young boy? He would transgress and disbelieve, and even made his parents disbelieve too, because of their intense love for him, and because of their need for him. Uh, so he may force them to do um, this m- do things that made them disbelieve. Okay, so that is why Allah saved the religion from this young boy who would be a disbeliever when he become adult. So I need another sister to read the next page. So, Sister Safina, would you please read this part? Hurry up, please, because I need to finish today
Sorry, Aman.
earlier. If you cannot, okay, they can move to Sister Monaza to continue.
Okay, Ustaz. But I killed him because I had knowledge of that, so as to protect the religious commitment of his believing parents. What benefit can be greater than this? Although it was hard for them to be deprived of their offspring. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what the
Glorified.
Okay,
No,
so
you are
Ustaz,
right. So glorified and exalted be he.
yes, glorified and exalted is he, would give them other offspring who would be better than him. Hence, he said, so we desired that their Lord should grant them another in his place, a child more righteous and more tender hearted. That is, a righteous child who would uphold ties of kinship. For if the boy who was killed had grown up, he would have been very disobedient and cruel to them, and he would have forced them to disbelieve and transgress. As for the wall that I repaired, it belonged to two orphan boys in the town, and there was beneath it a tree belonging to them. Their father had been a righteous man. That is, the situation required that I show kindness and compassion towards them because they were so young and had lost their father. Moreover, Allah protected them because of righteousness of their father.
Yeah. So here the situations again, the two situations. The first one of killing the younger boy, because he would made them disbelieve and transgress because of his disobedience and his cruelness to them when he become an adult. And the second situation is that when Musa alayhi salam brought or fixed the wall for the orphans because of the righteousness of their father. وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. So the righteousness of their father or their parents affects or bring benefit to them after years. So this is a lesson for us. Your righteousness can bring benefit to your not just children, but even all your offspring. Okay, so would you please continue?
Yes, sir. So your Lord willed that they should come of age and then extract their treasure. That is therefore I demolished the wall, took out their treasure that was beneath it. Then I rebuilt it for them for free, as a mercy from your Lord. That is what I did was a mercy from Allah. The Allah bestowed upon his slave Al-Khidr did not I did not do it of my own accord. That is, I did not do anything on my own initiative or just because I wanted to do it. Rather, that was by the mercy of Allah and at his command. That this that I have explained to you is the significance of that what you were unable to bear with the patience. From this amazing story, we learn a number of lessons, ruling, and principles, some of which we will note here. The virtue of knowledge and traveling to seek it. This is the most important thing for Musa. Traveled a great distance and went through hardship to seek it. He gave up his stay with the children of Israel whom he was teaching and guiding, and chose to travel in order to increase his knowledge.
Yeah, Jazakallahu khairan. I just wanted to focus on something here that is said by Al-Khidr. وَمَا فَعَلْتُهُ عَنْ أَمْرِي. I didn't do it of my own accord. This is not my uh, own initiative or just I intended to kill this boy, so I killed it. Okay? So he didn't do anything out of his own decision, but at Allah's command. This is so important. Okay, I don't want to see anyone kill anyone because this is he thought that this is gonna be disbeliever or something like this. No, we don't do that exist. We don't have the power of Al-Khidr. Okay, we don't inspired by Allah like Al-Khidr, so we cannot do anything like that. So Al-Qadr made it at Allah's command, okay, and by the mercy of Allah. If you see the mercy of Allah in each situation, you achieved the goal of Surah Al-Kahf, okay. So we need to see Allah's mercy in each situation, even if it doesn't appear, okay. So what can we take away from this story? The virtue of knowledge and seeking knowledge and traveling for the sake of knowledge. What else? Would you please continue? Hmm.
Okay, so one should prioritized starting with the most important matters for increasing knowledge for an individual is more important than the neglecting that and being preoccupied with the teaching others without increasing one's own knowledge, but combining the two matters is better. It is permissible to hire a servant, whether one is at home or traveling, so that the servant may take care of one's needs and one may have time to rest and relax, as Musa did. With regard to the one who travels to pursuit of knowledge or for the purpose of jihad and the like, if there is a purpose to served by telling about his aim and destination, telling about it is more appropriate than concealing it, because disclosing it brings benefits such as making full preparation for the journey, engaging in matters with proper understanding of what is involved, and manifesting the virtue of this great act of worship. As Musa said, I will not give up until I reach the junction of two seas. Even if it takes me years of travel. Similarly, the Prophet ﷺ informed his companions when he went on the campaign to Tabuk, where he was headed, even though his usual habit was to conceal his campaign plans. This is a matter. This is the matter that is to be done as dictated by interests.
Yeah. So what can we take away here? Number one should prioritize. Okay. Starting with the most important matters. Some people are confusing whether to seek knowledge or increase their knowledge or teach others what they already learned. So actually, what we should do is to combine between those two matters are so important. Okay, so combining is better. Number two, it's permissible to hire servants, but try to be modest to that servant. Treat this servant with humbleness. Uh, Eat with him like Musa alayhi salam when he told غداءنا. So they are supposed to eat with each other. And okay, so let's continue. Continue, please. I may ask
Yes,
Sister
yes, yes.
Dufayda, جزاك خيرا. I may ask Sister Dufayda because she already
Okay,
have just
Sister
start.
Faida, yeah,
So
yes,
would
yes,
you
yes.
please continue, Sister Dufayda? Okay, if she cannot, I feel like she left. Maybe she left for some reasons. So Sister Dufayda, Munaza, would you please continue? I'm sorry.
Assalamu
I haven't
alaikum wa
noticed
rahmatullahi wa
that
barakatuh.
Walaikum
she
salam wa
left.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, go ahead,
Walaikum
Sister
assalam
Faida.
wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, so Al-Sadi, Tafseer, evil, and its cause may be ascribed to the shaitan because of his temptation and making evil fair seeming, although all things happen by the will and decree of Allah, because the servant of Musa said, "It was none but the shaitan who caused me to forget. It is permissible for a person to express what he feels as a result of human nature, such as exhaustion, hunger, or thirst, so long as that is not by way of discontent. It is, if it is true, because Musa alayhi salam said, "Truly, this journey of ours has exhausted us." It is recommended for a person's servant to be smart, alert, and versatile so that he may help him to achieve what he wants to do. It is recommended for a person to feed his servant the food that he himself eats and for them to eat together, because the apparent meaning of Musa alayhi salam's word, "Bring us our morning meal," refers to both of them and suggests that they would eat together. Divine help may be granted to a person commensurate, commensurate, okay, commensurate with the extent to which he is doing what is what is enjoined upon him, and the one who is doing something is according with the command of Allah will receive help in a way that others do not because of the words, "Truly this journey of ours has exhausted us." Okay. This refers to the journey beyond the junction of the two seas, because before that he did not complain of exhaustion, even though he had traveled a long way, because that was travel in a true sense.
So here it's permissible to express what you feel. Okay, I feel hungry, I feel thirst, it's okay, but not as a way of discontent. Don't feel like it's so hot today, it's so much and so because you are like objecting to Allah's decrees. Okay, so just to take care of this. It's okay to express your feelings, but without uh showing discontent to that. Okay. Would you please continue? Hmm.
Yes, Ustad. As for the subsequent travel, what appears to be the case in that it was part of a day, because they lost the fish when they got to the rock. It seemed that they spent the night at the rock and they set off the next day until the time for the morning meal came. When Musa alayhis salam said to the servant, "Bring us our morning meal," at that point he remembered that he had forgotten the fish in the place that was the destination they had been seeking. The person whom they meet was not a prophet, rather, he was a righteous slave of Allah. Because he is described as being a true slave of Allah. Moreover, he mentioned what Allah had blessed him with of mercy and knowledge, but no mention is made of being a messenger or prophet. If he had been a prophet, um, that would have been mentioned as it was mentioned in the case of others. With regard to these words at the end of the story, I did not do it I did not do it of my own accord. This does not indicate that he was a prophet. Rather, it indicates that he was inspired, as may happen in the case of people other than prophets. As Allah says always, we inspired the mother of Musa alayhi salam, saying, breastfeed him. And your Lord inspired the bee, make your homes in the mountain.
Yeah. So here, this is Al-Khidr. Al-Khidr is just a righteous slave of Allah, and he was inspired by Allah. So this is what should we know about Al-Khidr. Okay, go ahead.
The knowledge that Allah teaches to his slaves is of two types: knowledge acquired through effort and striving, and the knowledge received directly from Allah without effort, which Allah bestows upon whomever he will of his slaves. Because he says, "Whom we had taught knowledge of our own." One should show proper etiquette towards teachers, and the seeker of knowledge should address his teacher in a gentle manner, because Musa alayhi salam said, "May I follow you so that you may teach me something of that sound knowledge that you have been taught?" He spoke to him a polite and gentle manner, asking permission as if he was saying, "Will you give me permission to do that or not?" And he affirmed that he would learn from him. This is in contrast to those who address their teachers in a rough or arrogant manner, no, not highlighting their need of the teacher's knowledge. Rather, they claim to be working together with them. Indeed, some may think that they are teaching the teachers, and when in fact, they are extremely arrogant, ignorant. Showing humanity towards the teacher and expressing one's need of his teaching is one of the most beneficial approaches for the student. One who is superior may show humility to learn from one who is of lower status than him. Musa alayhi salam was undoubtedly of higher status than Al-Khidr.
Al-Khidr. Al-Khidr. Al-Khidr.
Al-Khidr.
Okay, so yeah. So as we said, say Sadi said, the knowledge is of two types: knowledge acquired through efforts, so you need to exert the effort, and nor a knowledge they receive directly from Allah without effort. So we should exert the effort and make dua that Allah increase us in knowledge. Number two, we should learn the etiquettes towards our teachers. Okay, so I need to be polite, to be humble, to show humility to the teacher. Okay, I need to learn even from who are lower in status than me. Okay, so would you please continue?
knowledgeable and virtuous person may learn a branch of knowledge that he does not know from one who does possess the knowledge, even if he is many degrees lower than him in terms of overall knowledge. Musa alayhis salam was one of the messengers of the strong resolve to whom Allah had granted knowledge that he did not grant to others. But with regards to this particular branch of knowledge, Al-Khidr possessed knowledge that Musa alayhis salam did not. Therefore, he was very keen to learn from him. Based on that, if a scholar of hadith or fiqh is lacking in knowledge of grammar or a morphology, or some other branch of knowledge, he should not refrain from learning it from one who is skilled therein, even if he is not a scholar of hadith or fiqh. One should attribute knowledge and other virtues to Allah and affirm them and give thanks to Allah for them, because Musa alayhis salam said, so that you teach me something of that true knowledge that you have been taught. That is the knowledge which Allah has taught you. Beneficial knowledge is that which guides to good. A knowledge is which there is guidance to the ways of goodness and warning against the ways of evil. So is a means of achieving that is regarded as beneficial knowledge. All other knowledge is either harmful or of no benefit. Because Musa alayhis salam said, so that you may teach me something of that sound knowledge that you have been taught.
Yeah, so here when we say Allahumma zukni العلم النافع, beneficial knowledge, it means that the knowledge that guides you to goodness, ways of goodness, and warns against the ways of evil. So this is al-ilm al-nafi' we are asking Allah to grant us. Number two, we should attribute the knowledge and other benefits or virtues to Allah. We have nothing. So if we have some knowledge, so this is granted by Allah or taught by Allah. And a knowledgeable person may be may learn a branch of knowledge that he doesn't know from one who does know that knowledge. So we are learning from each other. Okay, so we should not be proud of our knowledge because start, sister, would you please make sure you are muted, please? So would you please continue?
Whoever does not have the patience to accompany a scholar and learn from him and is not able to be steadfast in that will miss out. According to the degree of his lack of patience on a great deal of knowledge, whoever has no patience will not acquire any knowledge, but the one who restores to patience and adheres to it will attain all that he strives for. Because Al-Khidr said, when he explained to Musa alayhis salam why he could not learn from him, that he would never be able to have patience with him. The primary means of attaining patience is having full knowledge and understanding of the matter with which he is instructed to be patient. Otherwise, if he is not aware of it or does not realize its purpose and consequences, or its benefit or outcome, he will have no reason to be patient. Because Al-Qadr said, for how long you have patience with something that you cannot fully compare it. So he stated that the reason for his lack of patience was his lack of understanding of the matter. It is enjoined to be deliberate and certain and not to be hasty, is passing judgment concerning any matter until one knows what is aim behind it and the goal that is sought. One should connect matters to the of the future that have to do with what person wants to do to the divine will, and no one should say about anything, I'm going to do that in future, without also saying if Allah wills. will
Yeah,
special.
ولا تقولن لشيء إني فاعل ذلك غدا. So you should not say anything without saying inshallah, and we should use this word properly, not distort it. Okay, not use it for giving false promises. Okay, would you please continue?
Resolving to do a thing is not the same as doing it. Because Musa alayhi salam said, "You shall find me if Allah wills patient." He prepared himself to be patient, but he did not do it. If the teacher sees that there is an interest to be served by instructing the student not to ask questions about something until the teacher is the one who explains them to him, then there should be a reason for it, such as the student not being able to understand it yet, or because he told the student not to ask about minor details when inquiring about matters because of the questions may be more important, or because the student is not able to comprehend it, or because he is asking a question that has nothing to do with the topic under discussion. It is permissible to travel by sea so long as there is no fear of drowning. The one who forgets is not called to account for his forgetfulness, whether with the regard of the rights of Allah or the rights of the people, because Musa alayhi salam said, "Do not take me to a task for what I have forgotten." We should accept people as they are with regard to their attitude and behavior, and accept that what they are happy to give when dealing with them.
Yeah, we are not supposed to vex people. Okay, so just accept them as they are. But should not forbid you from enjoying good and forbidding what's evil. Okay, but I'm talking about their attitude and behavior. Uh, we should be accustomed to some points of weakness, and not oblige them to give us details that they don't want you to give right now. So, would you please continue?
We should not burden them with more than they can cope with, or put undue pressure on them, because that will put them off and make them feel fed up with us. Rather, we should accept them as they are, so that dealing with them will be easy. People should be judged as they appear to be. The ruling on material matters such as wealth, life, and so on should be based on what appears to be the case. Musa alayhi salam where is it? Denounced Al-Khidr for scuttling the boat, and killing the boy, because these things appear to be wrong. So Musa alayhi salam should not have kept quiet. Sorry, Ustad.
Yes, you are right, except in this case when he was accompanying Al-Khidr.
Yeah, my
So
screen
he,
was coming on the iPad. That's why the screen went. Except, where was I? So Musa should not have kept quiet about them, except in this case when he was accompanying Al-Khidr. So he hastened to issue his ruling based on what is usually the case, and he did not pay attention to his extraordinary situation that required him to be patient and not to be hasty in denouncing. The important and the sublime ruling is that the greater evil may be warded off by a lesser evil, and a greater interest may be served by foregoing a lesser interest. Killing the boy was bad, but letting him live until he caused his parents to recant their religion was a greater evil. Letting the boy live and not killing him and protecting his life may have been regarded as something good, but what was better was to protect the religion, commitment, and faith of his parents. Therefore, Al-Khidr killed him.
yeah. So here, as we said, when the threat was related to religion, the Al-Khidr killed that boy because the matter is severe. So would you please continue, Many guys?
Many guidelines and benefits come under the heading of his general ruling. So when there are conflicting matters, they all come under this ruling. Another important principle with regard to one man handling the wealth of another is that if it is done in a manner that serves the latter's interest and words of harm, it is permissible for him to do that, even without permission, and even if that involves causing some damage to the property of the other person, such as when Al-Khidr scuttling the boat in order to render it defective. So that would be safe from being seized unlawfully by the unjust king. Based on that, if a fire or flood or the like occurs in the house or property of a man, then it is permissible to damage part of the property or demolish part of the house for the sake of saving the rest. In fact, that is prescribed so as to protect the wealth and property of the other person. Similarly, if a wrongdoer wants to take the property of the other person, so one gives him some of the wealth in order to ransom the rest, that is permissible, even without permission. It is permissible to make a living on the sea just as it is permissible on land, because Al-Khidr said, who made their living on the sea, and Allah did not denounce what they did.
Yeah, so here, as we said, Al-Khidr saved or made a corruption, small corruption, in order to bring about much benefit or greater benefit, which is saving the boat. Continue.
A poor person may have wealth that is not sufficient to meet his needs, and that does not cancel out the description of him as poor, because Allah tells us that these poor people had a boat, killing in one of the worst of sins, because Musa said with regard to the killing of the boy, you have done a terrible thing. Killing in illegal retribution is not an evil deed, because he said, have you killed an innocent soul who killed no one? Allah will protect the righteous person himself and will protect him offspring. Serving righteous people and anyone who is connected to them is better than serving others, because Al-Khidr explained the reason why he extracted the treasure of the two boys and rebuilt their wall, as being that the father had been a righteous man. One should use proper etiquette with Allah by choosing the proper words. Al-Qadr attributed the act of damaging the boat of himself when he said, I wanted to damage it. But in the case of good, he attributed it to Allah, because he said, so your Lord willed that they should come of age and then extract their treasure as a mercy from your Lord.
Yeah, so here, Al-Khidr, look to the politeness of Al-Khidr when he made a corruption to السفينة, to the ship. He said فأردت أن أعيبها, so he attributed the action to himself. But when Allah replaced the parents with another good child instead of the one he killed, he said فأراد ربك أن فأرادنا أن يبدلهما ربهما. So he attributed the granting to Allah. So this is also a good point related to Al-Khidr. And also we can learn here that they had the righteous man related to the reason why Al-Khidr fixed the wall for the younger children, because of the righteous man, their father. Okay, would you please continue?
This is like when Ibrahim said, When I am sick, he heals me. And when the jinn said, we do not know whether ill is intended for those on earth or their Lord intended good for them. Even though everything happens by the will and decree of Allah, a person should not leave his companion under any circumstances unless he has made clear to him what he should not, warns him against doing so, and explain what he did wrong. As Al-Khidr said with Musa alayhi salam, going along with one's companions with regard to things that are not prohibited is a means of companionship, lasting, and becoming stronger, just as lack of some such harmony leads to the end of companionship. These things that Al-Khidr did were the result of the pure divine decrees that Allah caused to occur at the hands of his righteous slave, so that by means of his story, people may come to understand the subtlety of the divine decree, and that Allah may decree things that a person dislikes very much, but they are good for his religious commitment, as in the case of the boy, or they are good for his worldly interests, as in the case of the boat. Thus, he shows examples of his kindness and generosity, so that people may understand and be fully content with this divine decree that may hurt.
Yeah, so وعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم. You may hate something and this is good for you. Think about the case of the boy and the case of the boat, the owners of the boat. How did they feel at the moment? But when you know right now behind the scenes, you are feeling that Alhamdulillah that he made it defective, right? So we should think like this concerning all Allah's decrees um, that happened to us. Also, this is a very important point here. Before leaving someone, you need to clarify the reasons. Okay, so we learned this from Al-Khidr when he clarified why he should leave the companion of Musa alayhi salam. So clarified the reasons for him. Okay, so now we have learned some names of Allah. I will go through them quickly. So Ar-Rabb, as we said before, it has four meanings: the creator, the owner, the sustainers, and the commander. And Allah is Al-Alim, so He is the one whose knowledge is so comprehensive and extends to the seen and the unseen. Okay, and Allah is Al-Muhit also, the all-encompassing. So this denotes the exaltedness of Allah above His creation, and that He encompasses everything in terms of knowledge, power, subjugation, so on. Allah is Al-Muhaymin, the one ensures well-being and protection over His creation. Okay, so He is also ever watchful. Allah also is Al-Wali, the sole planner and governor of all things. He is fully supportive and helpful and the master of all. So Allah waliyul ladina amanu. Think about the ally of believers. So if Allah is your wali, if you take Allah as your wali, He gonna be your planner, the governor of all things, the fully supportive of for you. So what should we do after understanding the meaning of these verses? To treat poor people, with mercy and compassion. Okay, when we hear the word poor, this brings from us the mercy and compassion, and to believe that Allah's plan is good for me. Okay, whatever the situation is, make sure that Allah is planning for you what is good, and to be satisfied with all decrees of Allah. Umar ibn al-Khattab said, whenever a calamity befall me, okay, when he was struck by a calamity, he did three things. First, he praised Allah for four things, okay? So he praised Allah. See how Umar ibn al-Khattab deal with the calamities, okay? We should learn from him. So first he say Alhamdulillah for four things that it didn't affect my religion. So this is what he concerned with his religion, that it was not greater than it was. He think about the bad scenarios, the worst scenarios. So he thank Allah this is not the worst. Okay, and that Allah would reward me for it with paradise. So he think about the consequences. Allah will reward me because I thanked Him when this calamity struck me, and that I remembered my calamity in the loss of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he feel like any calamity is lighter than the calamity of losing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we need to adopt the approach of Umar ibn al-Khattab. Also, we need to show kindness and compassion towards orphans, like what Al-Khidr made for them, to attribute knowledge and other virtues to Allah and use them for benefiting people. To seek beneficial knowledge that which guides it to the ways of goodness and warns against the ways of evil. This is al-ilm al-nafi' that we should aspire to make dua to Allah to increase me in sound knowledge and righteous deeds, and to strike a balance between increasing my own knowledge and to teaching others. This is so important because some people are just caring for teaching others and they don't increase their knowledge, and some people are doing the vice versa. Also to seek Allah's refuge from shaitan and increase dhikr, not to show discontent for exhaustion or any feeling. Don't say, oh, it's so hot today, we cannot bear that. So you are showing discontent to the weather, which is decreed by Allah. I also need to fulfill the commands of Allah, to speak to teachers in a polite and gentle manner and show humility toward them, to learn from those superior than me in a certain area of knowledge, even if I'm more knowledgeable in other areas. Okay, and to be patient in my journey of seeking knowledge, not to say about anything I'm going to do that in the future without saying if Allah wills. ولا تقولن لشيء إني فاعل ذلك غدا إلا أن يشاء الله. To accept people as they are. Don't try to fix the people unless, I'm talking about the attitudes, okay? But this is not, shouldn't forbid us from enjoining good and forbidding evil. To train myself to be patient, to satisfy with Allah's decrees to be satisfied with Allah's decrees in times of calamity, since the greater evil may be warded off by a lesser evil. Okay, I need also to seek to be a righteous person so that Allah protect me and my offspring. Also to serve righteous people. This is an honor for anyone to serve righteous people and to use proper etiquettes with Allah by choosing the proper words. Okay, so I need to use proper etiquette with Allah and talking about Allah good and the decrees of Allah good. Here is some dua. We can learn some dua for the guidance of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم رب جبرائيل وميكائيل وإسرافيل فاطر السماوات والأرض عالم الغيب والشهادة. So Allah is the knower of the seen and the unseen. أنت تحكم بين عبادك فيما كانوا فيه يختلفون. You are the arbitrator between your servants in that which they disputed. اهدني لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك. اهدني, guide me to the truth by your leave in that which they have differed. إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. For verily you guide whom you will to a straight path. So here you are praising Allah and ask Allah to guide you to the straight path. This is a good dua. You can do it. I need to ask myself right now, am I patient in my journey of seeking knowledge? So what should I gain if I'm doing this? If I'm doing this, Allah will increase me in knowledge and I will gain Allah's pleasure. If I'm not doing this, the opposite will happen. So do I show satisfaction with Allah's decrees? If I'm shown satisfaction with Allah's decrees, Allah will be satisfied with me and grant me tranquility and calmness. Do I expect something in return when I do favor to someone? Do I expect the reward from people? So Allah accept only what we do only for His sake. So if you are expecting the word from people, people will let you down and Allah will give you nothing. So don't expect anything from people. Do I balance between seeking knowledge and teaching others? If I'm doing this, Allah will be pleased with me. Do I observe my word choice while talking about Allah? I need to think about this to have Allah's pleasure. Do I exert every effort to be righteous so that my children will be protected? If I'm doing this, Allah will protect my offspring, will protect my children after my death. So I need to make dua to for Allah to protect me and my offspring. So we usually end up with the tazkiyah plan, تطهير and تطوير. تطهير is about shortcomings I need to purify myself from, and التطوير is about the qualities I need to cultivate or adopt. So التطهير here, I need to stop feeling sorry for the past hardships and calamities that struck us, as Allah is the all-knowing. Okay, so I feel reassured that Allah was doing what is good for me and is doing what is good for me. I need also to purify myself from anxiety, from worrying about things, because Allah is the all-wise, He is the ever-merciful, the all merciful. I need also to stop worrying from people's evil plan against me, because Allah's plan is a prevailing one. Okay, so Allah is Al-Muhaymin, so Allah's plan is the one that will happen anyways. So let's move to التطوير. I need to develop the sense of watchfulness, المراقبة. I need to be mindful that Allah is watching over me, is watchful of me. When I stay alone, as He is the all-hearing, the all-seeing. I need to show patience and satisfaction and pleasure with all decrees of Allah. I also need to seek to have complete faith by doing both obligatory and recommended acts. If you want to be righteous, you need to focus not only on obligatory acts of worship, but also on the recommended ones, so that Allah protect you and protect your children. And also to always trust that Allah's plans is better than me, than mine, as He knows best. Allah knows best. So, do you have any question? جزاكم الله خيرا, and see you next class inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم
جزاكم
السلام
الله
ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. جزاكم الله خيرا أستاذة.
جزاك الله خير.
Mom, is it with